Welcome back to Driven Daily. This is now week 7 of the Datsun build, and things didn't go very well last week.
It went very well until we discovered that we made everything wrong. So we'll redo it this week. So last week we've done sill bars, door bars, windshield bar, and we've been very consistent at making them wrong.
Yeah.
Sill bars and door bars, they're too low, which would end up with the seat way too low for that guy to drive. So we need to raise a little bit.
Before I can start cutting and coping my sill bars, I like to have them a little bit cleaner than they are right now. This has a lot of mill scale and some grease or oil or whatever my supplier puts on it to make sure that it doesn't rust. And I don't really need that anymore since I'm about to be welding it, and because I'm going to be handling it a lot, and that stuff tends to get everywhere while you're working on it. So I'm going to start by cleaning this down with some acetone. And then I'm going to go through the rules once more just to make sure that everything that I'm planning actually works for Mount Washington. So I'll just go through, wipe this down with some acetone a few times until nothing comes out on my round. Just a quick once over shows you how much gunk is on these. Alright, I'm not going crazy. This doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It just needs to be good enough that it's not getting all over me every time I grab any of this tube. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to measure out both sides of the sill bars and cut one of them at a time. Just in case there are mistakes, I don't need to redo both sides. So I spent the majority of Saturday coping and fitting and finally getting the driver's side sill bar very close to within spec. This is about an inch, maybe a half an inch away from where it needed to be. And when I got to that point, I knew I'd have to do some final fitting on it. So I decided to cut the passenger side as well. And after I'd spent 4 or 5 hours on the driver's side, cutting the passenger side was maybe a 10-minute affair. I just chopped the same dimensions as the driver's side, started fitting it up, and realized I had made a mistake. So on the driver's side, I don't have an X-brace in at all. The X-brace only goes from the driver's side overhead to the passenger side bottom of the main hoop, right now at least. And the bottom of the X-brace interferes with the sill bar. So I'm gonna have to make an extra cut to the sill bar to make room for the X-brace. But I don't know exactly where the X-brace is yet, so I can't make that cut on these, so I can't fit these in, and I can't weld them yet. So I've got to change gears, I need to change priorities, and I need to finish up the X-brace before I can complete these. Hopefully, I can get the entire X-brace done this weekend, and hopefully get these coped and tacked today. That way, next weekend, I can get started on the door bars like I plan to do this weekend and keep the project moving a bit. Now, the problem that I have, this is our diagonal reinforcement for the main hoop. This is the main hoop, and this is my sill bar. So the sill bar needs to go against the A-pillar here, and then it attaches to the back as well. Now this is still a little bit long, but if I place it where it really should be, at the base of the main hoop, I'm gonna have to cope this around the main hoop. And without knowing exactly where the main hoop is going to end up, there's no way that I can get that perfect. So this tube needs to come out. It's a little bit too short, and I won't have enough material, and I need to put the other tube, new tube, that I'm going to use into it. So the main hoop X-brace must be no less than 57 inches. Now, you might be saying, cut the longest point to the shortest length possible so that I have the least amount of work to do. But the problem you run into there is if you make any mistakes whatsoever, if you cut it a little bit off axis, you're screwed and you have to start all the way over again. I don't want to start all the way over again. However, on the flip side, if I have to remove too much material, I find that I get impatient and I end up doing reckless things. So I want to get that sweet spot where I have just enough material to work with and not so much that I get tired of working on it. So we'll do 57¼ inches, and that should give me just enough leeway to get it right. Here we go. See how it's got that little lip?
Yeah.
I want the whole tube to be sitting on top of that.
On top of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of high up.
Yeah.
Right now we're still ahead of schedule by a fair amount, but we need more than a fair amount in order to feel somewhat secure with this. So stick around. Hopefully I have more progress this week, and wish me luck.